Welcome to Behind Closed Doors with Jared and Sam. I'm Jared.
I'm Sam. Did you see how quick I looked?
No, I did. And this is a podcast about marriage, life, and family. And our...
What's funny?
I don't know. I forgot what I was about to say. I just blanked.
Our
and
wife?
here are we have a heart to see our families make it, whatever making it looks like.
Yeah.
But I do want to put this quick disclaimer out there that we are not the authority on marriage. I do not speak for all men/husbands. She does not speak for all women/wives. And although we are one beautiful flesh, we do not speak for each other without consent.
Double dipper beautiful.
How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
I'm good too.
How are you? You didn't even let me ask.
You just sat there and stared at me. So
Cause you're cute.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to look at you for a second.
Clean up on aisle 7. But yes.
The fact that you think it's a cleanup instead of an authentic compliment.
There you go.
You donk.
Another horseman.
No, it's not. I don't think that's a horseman. I don't think that's a horseman. I think that's just you being a donk.
Speaking of donk.
It was perfect, wasn't it?
That was
Yeah.
good. Okay.
So-
Why don't you go ahead and lead us in?
So we have couples things, right? So donk is a word that we got from one of our kids.
Yes.
Was it Christian?
Yeah.
You donk. So that's our youngest one. So we have 4 boys.
Right.
16, 14, 11, and 6. They are JJ for Jared Jr.
Well, by the time this comes
TJ.
out, he might be 7 already.
Oh, he might be 7 by the time this comes out.
By the
That's
time
so
he comes out,
sweet.
he'll be
So
7.
the little one may be 7. But
Yeah.
still, JJ, TJ, Samuel, and Christian. They're all technically something J. So Samuel and Christian are really SJ and CJ.
Yep.
We just don't use those nicknames for them. But
Don't flow off the tongue as well.
No.
Well, CJ does, but then
Yes.
it's kind of like we're leaving
Christian
Samuel out.
Josiah. I love his name. I love Josiah.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of things from our kids.
Yep.
Voices,
Yep.
phrases,
Yep.
all of that. It brings a lot of joy and comedy to our home. They are entertaining kids.
Yeah. And we just add sauce to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't all just sound like that, but
No.
yeah, we add sauce to them. But they've all said things over the years that are just
Hilarious. Like Christian. So we always do Christian's voice. Anytime y'all hear us do a voice where like our nose is stuffed up,
Yeah,
that's always
that's
Christian.
Yeah.
That's Christian.
So anytime you have
And
2
then-
things or
Yeah,
anything
2
like that,
things.
that's Christian.
He always says, I only ate 2 things because
Only
we'll tell him
2
he's doing
things.
too much.
Yeah.
I only ate 2
It's always
things.
2 things though too.
Yeah.
It's always 2 things. Hey, so if one of the other boys is watching their phone or their iPad or something like that,
Yeah.
and they're playing the game, he'll be like, "You're on 2 things."
Yes, telling them they need to get off so he can play the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But JJ used to say, our oldest, when he was little, when he was hungry, he would say,
Make her hungry, mama.
He'd say, make her hungry, mama. This is so sweet. Make
Yeah.
her hungry.
Yeah, so we still say that when we're hungry.
TJ gives us almost all of our quotes.
Yeah.
Our brown kid.
Yes. He's the funny.
JJ named him the Brown Menace when he was when
Yeah.
he was small.
Yeah.
But he gives us almost all the quotes. My bunga, talking
Yep.
about my finger. He
I want to
couldn't say
walk by
finger.
my own self.
Yeah. He told me once I snatched away from me, I'm do it by my own self.
And then like his voice went from that, because we thought he was going to need a little bit of speech therapy.
Yep. Because I have a video actually of him where I was like, because he was one of those kids that said like fools like that. So I was like, say bird. He said bulled. I was like, say bird. He's like fools. I was like, say polar bear.
Yeah. so he
cute.
talked like that. And then
Yes.
out of nowhere, his voice completely changed.
Just cleared up.
But his diction was so strong. Like he would enunciate every syllable.
And he still does.
And he still does.
He enunciates every syllable.
So we started talking like that. You know what I mean?
Like so it's the brainy. Actually,
yeah, anything like that.
Yeah.
I'll never do that.
I'll never.
So
I'll never.
anytime, I'll never.
I'll never slip and fall. And then he
Yeah.
slipped and
That was
fell.
funny. He slipped and fell right after he said that. Hilarious. And he's just like the know-it-all
He
kid.
is. He's the know-it-all kid. So it's so fun to tease him in that way.
Yeah.
Like, I never. So we always say, I never.
I'll never. Yeah. So like
there was
even
something we
Christian
got from
started saying
Samuel,
that,
too.
and then like we added
Yes,
the Christian
I never.
voice onto that. So what were we saying?
There was something Sam used to say too, but Christian is the Dad, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah,
that's
Dad.
Christian. Dad,
Dad.
I gotta tell you
Not
something.
Dad. I gotta tell you something.
Dad, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah,
So
I need to tell you.
Dad, I need to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the funniest one though, the funniest one is don't smack my butt. There's doo-doo in it.
I didn't think you were gonna say that one.
Why?
That's funny,
Is
though.
this behind closed doors?
This is
So,
it's behind.
so when we would wipe his butt when he was small, he would, so we smack butts in the house. It's like a thing. And what's funny is the kids got into an argument with each other about somebody smacking each other's butts, and we were like, Jared was like, well, okay, let's just take a vote as a family. We
Yeah.
can just stop. Everybody can just stop smacking butts, like period, right? Nobody voted to stop smacking butts.
Yeah. I was like, y'all want to hold on to it that bad? Like, yeah, they didn't want to stop.
All four of them wanted to
I was
keep
like,
smacking butts.
nah.
Hilarious.
Now, when it was coming to like pantsing somebody, so the
Yeah,
boys
we
used to
had
run
to
up on each
outlaw.
other and yank the person's shorts down,
Yeah.
right? And they just be exposed. Like, yo, Samuel's drawers used to come down so much.
easy. So his little wee wee just be out. And we can't. Thank God we have all boys. But
Shoot.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
to outlaw the pantsing folks.
Yeah.
So we had to.
and so everybody wanted
that
to get
had
rid of
end.
that. But when it came to smacking butts, I was just like,
Nobody-
well, listen, we can clean this up right now. All we have to do is no more of that from anybody. Like, if you're going to get mad about it, all right, we'll just all stop from now on. No more. And everybody was like, no, big dog. We wanna,
No, we
don't want to get rid of that.
Hilarious.
Lord
But yeah,
have mercy,
but Jared
man.
when Jared smacked the baby's butt and he told him, don't smack my butt, there's doodle in it.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's a wild boy, man. He
needs
a
to
wild
be
boy.
wiped.
He's a wild boy. That's why we
my
call him Taz.
God. Oh yes. That's
it's
his
like-
name. All of them have animal nicknames too.
Yeah. Yeah.
JJ, what is JJ?
JJ was a squirrel.
Oh my God, JJ's a squirrel. JJ's a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
TJ,
His
I forgot TJ's.
his was bear.
brown bear.
His was bear.
Samuel's a little
Monkey King.
monkey king.
And then
And Christian's a
Taz.
chinchilla with Taz.
Yeah, he's Taz. Boy. Yeah, and then like Christian has long hair, but every time his hair wasn't braided, it just seemed like he was worse.
He was.
Like,
he was
if his
extra.
hair was out. He was just
He
so
was.
bad.
Ashley would say, kids aren't bad, but he was bad when his hair is out. When his hair is out, he's out. Okay? He's like a alter ego. It's like an alter ego. He's out here.
But yeah, so anyway, so all the kids would just say stuff that was funny. And Samuel, so we did that on the pod before with Samuel. Samantha reminded me before we started that we did one of Samuel's. I don't want to work.
Weed.
I don't want to weed. So he used to do. He would
Yeah.
talk like that. So that's something that we picked up and
Yep.
they did. We just
I
do
say
it to
that
each
about
other now.
anime a lot. So like I used to hate reading
Mm-hmm.
anime. And so I would only watch stuff that was in English, and I would only do it if
Yeah.
it had it in English.
We were
and
like,
so and I would tell them, I don't want weed.
I don't want to weed.
So we do these voices. I felt the need to explain that we do these little things because we do them on the podcast. Sometimes y'all hear us, and with no context, it just sounds wild. But We're letting you in on our inside jokes.
Because we do voices.
Yeah, we do.
We do voices. We sing.
Like, girl, come here.
Yeah, we sing songs.
Yes, we
do
sing
all
songs
that.
a
So
lot.
I turn everything into a song. So at some point,
Everything is a song.
you're going to hear song. Even though I'm not a singer, you're going to hear song.
Everything's a song. I was trying to think of one now that you said that. Get off your ass. Let's do some math.
Well, that's freaking. I got that from School of Rock. I got that from School of Rock.
We sing that regularly. Like that. Think of one of your songs. I can't think. I'm trying to think of one of your songs that one that you made up, and I just can't.
Because they're all made up on the spot. They're all made up on the spot.
No, there's plenty that we sing like all the time, though. There was one about going outside.
Oh, yeah, going outside. Gonna go play. Doing it the JJ way. Yeah,
he would go through and do each kid's names. And what's funny is, this is the funny part of it, is he's singing that song as he's putting them out the house.
Yeah. Get out. Now go. Get out. You need to go outside and get some sun.
Go outside and
get out of the pantry.
Yeah.
Because you're just eating because you're bored. And go get some sun.
Yeah. Go outside.
Yeah.
These kids don't go outside unless you force them. They on tablets, on games, on phones, on everything. Watching anime on my TV, doing all of that.
Now, Dre, you're young. Did you grow up going outside?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
He's not. I was gonna say he's not that young.
He was born in 2002.
Yeah, he's not.
I know. Don't that just sound fam?
You said 2001. He said 2001. Correct yourself. Give him his year.
You were 2002. Aren't you 22?
3, actually.
You just turned 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said give him his extra year.
Okay. That's fine. We're fine. Still after 2000.
But yeah, no, he's not young enough though for the stuff. Like kids growing up with tablets. That's like our kids.
Yeah.
And JJ, and our oldest, we had him young and he's still only 16.
Yeah.
So
he was born in the same decade as him.
No, but still the adults
Don't
though.
that sound nuts?
Yeah, it does actually.
That sounds absolutely insane.
You were born in 2001. Technically, I don't know about y'all, but he could be a child of mine. Drake could be my kid. I would have had to have had a kid at like 13.
14. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? I don't know about y'all.
Because I don't know when y'all aren't what's-a-majig until you like go through puberty, right? Y'all go through puberty a little after girls.
Yes.
Yeah,
you guys
y'all do.
physically
Yeah.
mature
So at the
faster
time, I wasn't doing the math yet, but I was thinking he could at least be my kid. I wasn't doing the math on if he could be your kid or not, is what I was saying. I was saying based on
How
the
old
math.
was I in 01?
Because once girls have a cycle, we are fertile.
You was 12, dog. No one.
No, I was born in 88. I was born in 88.
You was
So I
12,
was
13.
older.
13.
Yeah, I was 13.
Yeah, he's a year older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 13.
Yeah, so technically.
No, you were 12.
Yeah. So we're close, Dre. We're close to.
That's a
Could
wild.
have technically been your parents. Ain't that crazy? We would have had to have had him. Super young. But in my middle school, there were some girls that had kids. As a matter of fact, there was 2. One had twins, and one had a little boy.
Ooh.
I had 2 friends in middle school that had kids.
Twins right out the gate.
Twins right out the gate.
That's tough for adults.
I know her whole name too. I remember her whole name. That's crazy.
That's tough for 2 married, committed, grown, have mad stuff handled, great relationship adults. I couldn't imagine doing that as a kid.
Honestly, what ends up happening a lot of times for those middle school kids is the grandparents end up being more so like the parents in in the ones that I've seen. I don't want to speak for everybody, but the ones that I've seen, they end up like they're their mom, but they kind of grow up more like their older sibling because they're just so young,
Yeah.
Like me and my oldest brother have a 13-year gap. So it's like similar to that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Me and my oldest brother, I'm pretty sure he was born in 81. So yeah, we only have a 7-year gap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have huge gaps in my. I was almost like a only child, almost, because my oldest, the gap between me and my oldest brother is 13 years, and then between me and Jr., my next brother is like 8 years. So it's like significant.
Speaking of Taj, you wanted to talk about the shared bank accounts,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, man.
You said something about shared bank accounts.
Well, he said he'd love to hear our perspective on that.
Y'all share.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you foresee yourself sharing a bank account with your
With your
future wife?
significant other.
Okay.
Okay. That
We
makes
share
sense.
as well.
Yeah, our whole life. Okay.
Yeah.
We've come on. We became adults together though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
literally, I don't think we ever.
I think that's the one. You saying that just sparked a new thought for me. So I think if we met, so say for some reason we didn't get married to our late 50s or our 50s or something like that, and then we
Yeah.
came together super late. That's
Yeah.
the only place where I can see where we still have it. We have everything separate.
Bank accounts. Yeah, I mean, because if you live the whole that's
If I lived a whole life,
yeah, that's practically living a whole life without somebody else. But I will say this: I think it's weird for married couples to have separate accounts. What?
did you hear my stomach?
No, it's growling.
Yeah,
We need to
I'm
eat.
hungry. Why my inside sound like that?
something you can eat. I'm just playing. Sorry, edit that out. He said no. Is this behind closed doors? I'm sorry, my family listens to this. Sorry, guys, but I'm married and grown,
You are.
so there's
You are.
that.
You are.
Anyway, but we've shared bank accounts since the beginning. I think it's weird when you don't. Okay, let me tell you why. One, because a lot of checking accounts and stuff have fees. Why would you carry this stuff for no reason? Right? That's just a useless expense. Two, why do you need it? What are you trying to hide from your spouse? Why
know
you
what-
got a separate account?
You know what guys would always tell me?
You
What
got
do you
all
do
the
when
same
you're trying
bills.
to get a gift for them and they don't?
Get a credit card.
I was going to ask you that. When it comes time to surprise her, how do you pull that off?
We had separate credit cards. So he had a few credit cards that were in his name. I had a few credit cards. Now, this is the thing, though. I think for all of them, we were listed as users of each other's credit cards. But, it was just the understood thing. I had, our Walmart, Capital One, but those were the ones that I checked. Those were the ones that I logged in and paid the bills on, blah, blah, blah. And he had his own, he had an Amazon and Capital One or something like that. And he logged, so I never looked at it. I could use it on Amazon if I wanted to, but I never looked at it. So I never knew what he was buying or not. And that's how we would do surprise gifts.
Or there's the sometimes she'd be like, hey, don't look in the Amazon cart.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Yep.
And I get the cue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
because we're
totally get the
grown.
cue.
It's what are you, a kid on Christmas going through the closet trying to find all the gifts? You know what I mean? What are you scanning our freaking statement to find every single thing? It's no, what? Or you
Yeah.
could always, what stops you from taking cash out and putting a little cash on the side to buy a gift? If you're hiding money from your spouse, that's wrong. But if I'm saving up for something, there's been times that I've been paid in cash and I just kept it in the tuck. And then whenever it came around that I wanted to buy him something, I just went and did it. But that was a planned thing. If he ever found that money or
Yeah.
something, I would fess up and just tell him mind your business. And he gets the point.
Yeah, we have simple communication to let each other know we're trying to do something. I did something similar just not too long ago. So I can't remember what year was that. Was 22? I sent you to LA.
21.
21. So I knew it was one of those years. So I sent her
21?
to LA for her birthday. I sent her to LA for her birthday, and as I was saving up for her to have some spending money, I was just every time I got paid, I just took a little out of it and just set it to the side in cash. You know what I mean? And over the course of time, she's not looking at the bank account like that. You know what I mean? She wasn't
Not to
looking at the
notice
bank
little
account to notice something little like
We
that. I'm
don't
just doing
police
to the
each other
side.
in that way.
No.
And I'm so grateful for that too. Cause listen, every now and again, I'll dip off and go spend a hot little 50 at Marshall's or something. And mind your business. Mind your business. But also sometimes it's gift for other people. And he just don't even ask no questions about it. I just recently I got a couple things from I think I got something from Marshall's and something from Walmart, something from one of my friends' birthdays. Why are you clocking so tight that you know exactly what they taking? Like, you noticing a little $30, $20 or something?
And this is what I would say, and this is just for men. I usually only speak to men, so I'm only addressing men. I believe there's enough qualified women out there to speak to women. Hey, man, go continue to build something, and you won't notice.
Man, go
It's
build
kind of that simple
something.
for me. Go build something. Go do something. Go invest in something. Go find something new to put your money into.
Yeah.
Like, dog, go do something. If you're like the micromanaging, unless you're in a micromanaging season,
Right.
then that's different.
Right.
But if
I was going to say that.
We're in one right now.
we're in one right now,
In full transparency, we're in a micro, and this is the thing though. That's where trust comes in. How you trust this person to spend a life with them, but you don't trust them to share a bank account? Like, I trust that he ain't gonna do nothing foolish with this money. I trust that when he like I just said, I got my friend a birthday gift, but this is like my best friend.
and to me, when you boil just even the logic and reasoning down to what are you gonna do? How do you hide a surprise from your spouse? It's like, fam, that just seems like too minuscule of a reason to get a separate bank account.
Yeah, because it's not. What really, honestly, to me, it sounds like a lack of trust
Yeah.
and control issues. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it just don't.
It does.
Don't,
That's what it just sounds
seems
like to
wild.
me.
Hey, man, and I'm a big proponent of this too. If you have to hide it, it's wrong.
If you have to hide it, it's wrong.
So it ain't got nothing to do with. I'm trying to surprise, because every nigga I've heard ever say that, man, you niggas don't be surprising
ain't
your woman
surprising
like
him.
that. I know y'all niggas, man.
I know some couples though that pick and choose bills. Like, she pays this bill or that bill, and I pay the rent, or they pay half of everything. And I'm just like, that's so, like, even if you don't share all accounts, why would you not at least have one shared account that just all the bills come out of? Because I don't know. It's just weird to me. Maybe it's how I was raised too.
We are not the authority on marriage. I do not speak for all men/husbands. She does not speak for all women/wives. Y'all can do whatever the heck y'all want to do.
You can definitely do whatever you want. I just think it's weird though. So this is for the folks who see it and think it's weird. We're just giving you validation.
We're with you. We with you on the it's weird.
I think it's weird.
It's weird. I feel like there's other things you could be doing.
Share a life but can't share an account. It's odd. It's odd. Splitting bills is odd to me. It's just all odd. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just strange. And it just seems like, why would you want to put something else on you? Like, this is supposed to be a team.
Yeah.
Why are we doing things separate if we're a team? You know what I mean? When it comes to something major, like fine. I don't know what the percentage is on like finances being a reason for divorce, but it's pretty high.
It's the number one.
And so that's what I'm saying. So why, if that's the case, why wouldn't we want to be on the same page?
I think
the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree?
Yeah, I think finance is one, infidelity is two, I think. I think it's the way it goes.
It was finances, infidelity, and kids.
Woo. Kids is the third?
I believe so.
Wow.
Maybe the difference in parenting styles and stuff like that.
Because you're bringing two different
ideologies
together.
Going back to what I was talking about with red flags and it just being hard. Like, it's just going to be hard regardless.
It is.
Marriage is going to be hard. I don't think and this is just my thinking, I don't want to add to the difficulty of marriage.
Right.
By just creating an unnecessary responsibility when life is just going to be full of responsibilities. We've had that talk too. Ain't nothing sexy in them texts.
Didn't we? Hold on. Have we had this conversation about shared accounts before? Now all of a sudden, I feel like you sure on none of the other podcasts?
Yeah, we've
No.
never done this.
Oh,
on the pod.
okay.
We talked about the sexy. Ain't
Nothing
sexy
sexy in our text. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because there's already so much responsibility, and we have shared bank account.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have a shared bank account, and you can see everything that we do on said bank accounts.
I think it's also, you don't always know who's up. So sometimes one person is very clearly the breadwinner and stuff, but in a lot of relationships, stuff can go back and forth. So that's the other thing too, is having the shared bank account kind of adjusts for that. Like, it doesn't matter whose money is going and where, like I was just telling Taj, Jared gets paid on Friday. We getting paid on Friday. It's paying all our bills. It's doing, like, literally, like, there's all these things that have to be covered, right? Whoever is putting in the pot it's just getting covered.
I don't like my wife, who is a grown woman, coming and having to ask me for money. It sounds disgusting. And it feels like it's demeaning.
I wouldn't.
You know what I mean? It feels like it's a demeaning type thing. Like when they gotta come, when it's your wife. I'm talking about your girlfriend or anything like that. When it talks about girlfriend, but yuck.
Why are you doing that?
Because at our big old age, I don't want to hear you talking about
big
me.
Old
Remember
age.
Me and Chris were talking about that. Like, don't come. You ain't about to come back to the family nothing and say this is my girlfriend. His cousin, man, shout out to Dougie, because I know he's gonna watch it and I love him. He told Jared, you don't make it work with your wife, you better go, you don't bring nobody else over here. We know Samantha. Don't bring nobody else. I was like, man, look at Dougie. I love it. Now, I am not a believer in that.
I love
whatsoever. I bet you do. I am not a believer in that. I'm one of those guys that, so hypothetically, say that one of my homeboys is done with their wife, we're done with your wife. You know what I'm saying? As a collective.
Dang.
I'm rolling with my man and wherever he decides to do.
You know what's weird? But this is the thing. You know what's weird about that, though? And Taj, honestly, that's kind of a really good example. So Jared had a cousin who was like, they were kind of just friends in school, and they found out around the way that they're related. But he married this chick, and that's how I was introduced to her, right? But then me and her got super close and like developed our own relationship. It, like, even through their divorce, post their divorce, everything. Like, I was getting the kids, bringing them over our house and everything. I'm still close to her to this day, and her new husband now. And so it's weird. And me and her are closer than them two are, like, and have been, I mean, for over a decade. And so what's weird is situations like that, because I ain't giving her up just because they got a divorce. Like, and she's my friend now.
I was trying to get rid of her.
Jared.
Oh, well, let's edit that out.
Definitely got to edit them. My God.
Yeah, but we've had those talks. And even though that me and him aren't close anymore, I still was rolling with my man. Now, those are his children. So, of course, I'm going to stay, loyal to the children because they're still his. But when it comes to her being around, it wasn't somebody that I was trying to.
She didn't have no choice, though, but to divorce him. She really didn't. I'm never pro-divorce, and I was pro that divorce.
It's none of my business. It's none of my business.
I'm just giving people context. Like, it wasn't like I don't know. To me it was a I don't even know if there's a good divorce, but
hey,
it was wise decision.
The men on my side of the family, there is a dirtbag gene, and some of us got it. And got it strong.
Oh my God. So we're gonna talk about. So I was scrolling and Googling topics because y'all gotta send us some. Okay. But as I was Googling, I came across this Selling the 7 C's of Marriage. And I thought it was interesting. This is obviously from a Christian, but this is the 7 C's. They can do that by understanding the 7 C's of marriage, which include the command for marriage, a commitment to marriage, communication, couple time, agreeing on issues with their currency, putting Christ at the center of the marriage, and supporting each other's endeavors in the community. And when we got to that last one, that's the one that stuck and the one that we wanted to talk about is supporting each other's endeavors in the community. I feel like you're perfect because I do a lot in the community. I feel like you're perfect to talk about like the importance of supporting each other's endeavors in the community.
Why?
Because I do a lot in the community. I feel like
I know, but that was more of like where y'all were going because y'all are more community involved.
Yeah, so I want to hear your perspective on it.
No, I think I should piggyback off of you guys' dialogue.
Really?
Yeah,
you think so?
Because y'all are the ones that were out more, and me and Risha would be on the other side of it.
So for those who don't know, I'm the president of the Far East Side Community Council. It is a resident founded and led neighborhood organization on the Far East Side. We have like one of the largest neighborhood areas and like definitely in central Indiana. But also, y'all know I do politics and stuff too. So I'm the communications director for Indiana Democrat African American Caucus. I've been through leadership development cohorts like the CBCI, which is the Congressional Black Caucus Institute's boot camp. I've been through Hoosier Women Forward, just all kind of things. So I've managed campaigns, done stuff like that. So I do a lot of stuff in the community, both at a community service level and at a political legislative level. And so it requires a lot of understanding and support from your spouse because there's a lot of networking involved, a lot of events, a lot of relationship building, a lot of trainings, a lot of speaking engagement that are unpaid, a lot of just things that it takes to build quality relationships to really exist and maneuver in this space.
Sounds like the music business.
Sounds like the music business?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. But politics be politicking. I'm sure across the board it's like that. But it's like that in the community a lot as well. And so, yeah, it takes a lot. And I think supporting each other's endeavors in the community, or I view this as like whatever you're putting out into the world. It can be purpose. It cannot be. Because I think some of the things I do are purpose connected. So like Lover League and my women's organization and stuff is very much so purpose connected. But then other things, stuff I do like reviewing body worn camera footage from our police, stuff like that is more so just, I feel like doing my duty. Like there's a lot of people who feel like they can't or don't want to do something like that. And for some reason, like I can do it and give quality like critique and feedback and stuff like that. So I don't know, I do it. But I wanted you to speak about the perspective of the other side of it. Now his new job is forcing him out into the community. So that's fun. But that's what I wanted to hear about, the other side of it, being the spouse. Most of the time that wasn't the one that was out in the community. It was really me. About that support.
Well, yeah, I really think that we've operated in two totally different ways for a while. I'm not and haven't been, for the most part, the shake hands and kiss babies and let me just meet you and find out who you are. And that, because I would ask questions like, okay, why am I meeting them? Like, what's the point of this meeting? What are we doing? You know, just not necessarily always seeing the value in just connecting with folk.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to demean it, because I just demeaned it for a while. Like I just didn't see the value in it if it wasn't like it didn't seem like important or anything like that to me for the longest. And so I like to limit my connections but make them more meaningful. So for example, even with Dre. So I wasn't looking to meet Dre. Dre just kind of appeared in front of me doing something else that I was doing to provide for my family. You know what I mean? And when I met Dre, didn't know that it would turn into what it is today. So a lot of times when she would go out and do stuff, I didn't really see the value in it. So a lot of times it would just irritate my soul, especially when there's gaps at home that needed to be filled, and it seemed like there was more feeling going out into a lot of times that where we have holes that are not being filled at the crib. Sometimes you going out and just doing something that ain't really bringing no value back home would irritate my soul, and I could see like
immediate value. Like I'm not going out to get a check.
Yeah. Especially in a time where we need a check. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, dog, if you're gonna be going for a shift, you better be bringing home some bread. You know what I mean? Like you better be bringing home some bread, especially if that's what we need from you at this point.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that even the same with Risha, you ripping and running and doing stuff for folk. I mean, and if we were to break the fifth wall for a second, we just had that conversation after the last session.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, big dog, if I'm going to be coming all the way out here.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense to the people back home.
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
Real.
We just
It's crazy how quickly you recognize, not that it's just coming from Risha, but y'all recognize that's where it stems from.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm out here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now with my new job, I've really made a concerted effort to shake hands and kiss babies, and network as best I can. But I'm doing it on the clock. I ain't doing nothing for free. In that way, but I know within music, that's not going to be able to be the case for me in music.
In fairness, though, even this job came through one of my connections. Legit. Jordan being somebody that I went to high school with and then introduced to Jared later. And I don't remember the initial reason why I introduced them. I knew, though, every time I would reconnect with Jordan, I'd be like, yo, you and my husband are so, like, in tune with each other. Is crazy. I got to introduce y'all. Finally did. And then they kept running into each other at the gym and stuff, developed their own relationship. Mm-hmm. And that's where this job ended up coming through. But not just this one, though. When I first got out into the community, I had a mentor. And that mentor ended up being the one that Jared was working with before this. Yeah. So it was like, it's hard to explain, but the reason why he can do this stuff on the clock now, though, partly is because of the connections that were built. Yeah, for free. And so it's a delicate, ugly balance. Just to be totally transparent, it was a lot of arguing, a lot of disagreeing, a lot of having to extend trust and understanding that, like, there's certain levels, there's levels to things, and there's some levels that you can't get to without relationships. Without a degree, I've had a lot of experiences that people usually don't have unless they have one to get that access. And I've been able to do that through relationships. And so,
I mean, even with having it, though, you still need relationships are the number one currency.
Number one. You
can't get anywhere, even, matter of fact,
baby,
there are people who came to talk about, to ask Christ, and he was talking about, depart from me, I didn't know you. But they're like, oh man, but we did works in your name. We did things in your name. But the fact that there was no relationship there.
Yep.
So even in relations with God, and you're not getting anywhere without relationship. If he doesn't know you, it doesn't matter what you did here. It doesn't matter the good deeds that you think you've done. You have to know him. You have to know him. He has to know you. So even with that, you can have all the things that you think would get you access to a room. But even a lot of times, so even with Jordan, he could have been with my wife and they could have this amazing relationship. But if there's nothing with me and him there at some point, if I don't land it, it don't matter.
Right.
Because
Right.
one of the first things he said about even, well, he's like, man, this opportunity came up and you were the first person I thought of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's 1,000 niggas' wives that he done met that he probably would not have reached out and gave that job
listen,
to.
full transparency. We went, so one of my fellow leaders in the community actually got shot, which is the work we work against, right? And this was months ago. One actually recently got shot and passed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So sad and tragic for
Yeah.
our city.
Rest in peace, Ron G.
But a few months ago, yes, man. Oh my God. Just such a genuine soul. But
Rest in power.
right. A few months ago though, there was another one. He got shot on New Year's Eve, actually. And he's actually like a closer friend of mine. So I went to go see him in Eskenazi, and he happens to be related to Jordan. And so when I went up there, I was teasing Jordan in the elevator. I was teasing, but I was halfway serious. And I was like, Jordan, man, when you gonna hire me, bro? And he was like, I ain't hiring you. And I was like, dang, why didn't you go hire me? He was like, no, these jobs ain't for you. This job ain't for you. You don't need a 9 to 5. Like, and he was telling me no. So just to Jared's point, like he was literally flat out told me no. Jordan did. So I wasn't trying to say that it was like, I wasn't trying to take away from the fact that you, what was funny?
Hey, I don't even want to tell y'all how my brain processed that. I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you how my brain processed that. Hey, niggas don't be caring nothing about my music career.
Oh, what does that have to do with?
I'm telling you, bro. I don't even want to tell y'all how my brain gets to that place, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
How are you taking this as a, like, whatever? But,
I could tell you, but I don't think we should waste time. We're trying to get out of here.
oh my God. Okay, saying that on the podcast. Okay. But I wasn't trying to take away from your ability to, build your own relationship or whatever. I wasn't trying to take away from that. I was just saying that it was through relationships that these opportunities have come, and it's valuable. I think to those spouses out there that are dealing with people who you're married to, folks that are out in the community, I'm telling you firsthand, it's valuable. And I know it takes a while. It is a slow burn. However, I promise you, once you actually like get those skills that you need, it's the relationships that, that's what really makes you take off. And so, when I saw that in the 7 C's, that last one, supporting each other's endeavors in the community, that's huge. You would see that a lot in Christian couples, I feel like, because we feel a sense of responsibility to our community in general through our faith. But yeah, that was huge for us. But we can go to the tip.
Well, I think, just real quick, I think even with that, as the person that's on the other side of it, but is sometimes, hey, big dog, just ride.
Yeah.
Sometimes just ride. You know what I mean? Just ride and fill in the gaps. It probably won't be like that forever. Because honestly, this is the thing too. I've communicated that till I was blue in the face with her, and it didn't change anything. It did nothing.
That
I would
ain't
be
true.
the only nigga mad, bro. And you're just gonna be the only nigga stressed out when a nigga has a passion or something that's driving them to go out and do other things. Dog, it's like, hey man, get down or lay down. So, you know what I mean? You wanted the nigga. If you gonna commit, be committed.
I said, did you commit?
Did you commit?
Did you commit? Be committed.
Be committed. We got to get that on a t-shirt. Did you commit? Be committed.
Right. So
go ahead. The tip
of
is
the
yours.
day. Love does pay the bills.
Love pays the bills.
And so many times in our community, especially, you hear, well, love don't pay the bills. And I'm not talking about love in itself, but servicing from a place of love.
Yeah.
Well, have you taken care of what God has given you? Mm-hmm. So too many times people do stuff out of self-interest. They're looking things from the perspective of self, and so they're not meeting the needs of the people around them. However, if you're going to do things out of love like God intended us to do, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself. If you're going to give yourself, you're going to give yourself to the areas that need giving in the house.
Yeah. Love can, in fact, provide.
Love does provide the same way God provided for us. Listen,
Love.
I feed the birds of the air. I clothe the lilies of the field.
Yep.
How much more valuable are you than they?
I make this argument all the time. This is my last story or connection, but I make this argument all the time with the women I serve. But in the Old Testament, we say a lot that Jesus came to die for our sins. And it was like, yes, but also we had a process for the remission of sins in the Old Testament. They had the red heifers and they would use the ashes. They had the high priest. There was a process for you to be free of that, right? So it's like, so then why did Jesus have to come? Why would God send Jesus? And that's the point. It was love. It was because he could not love us in the way that he wanted to. He could love us from the outside, but he couldn't love us from within. He couldn't dwell within. And so sending Jesus was more than just freeing us from the penalty of sin. It was also so that we could have an indwelling of the Holy Spirit and God could love and empower us from the inside. And that's huge to me because, yeah, love does indeed provide. It did provide then. It will continue to provide for you all.
This has been our episode of Behind Closed Doors with Jared and Sam. I'm Jared.
I'm Sam.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Right. Follow us on Instagram at Jared and Sam. At BCD with Jared and Sam on YouTube, I believe it is. It'll be down there at the bottom somewhere.
Yep, at Jared and Sam on Instagram. And we'll make sure everything that we talk about is linked in the description too.
Oh, and you can also get in touch with us by emailing sharewithbcd@gmail.com. Peace, y'all.
See ya.